across the nation stuck with serious tax problems. But the past does not have to be your future. A fresh start can begin with a simple phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Their tax attorneys and licensed professionals specialize in powerful taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. Having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients, their track record says it all. IRS penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, so don't wait. Let Optima's award-winning team help you get back on your feet and back onto the right side of the IRS. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-613-8836. 800-613-8836. 800-613.
Optima Tax Relief.
News. Exeter. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exeter, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exeter contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting.
Hello?
And 1-800-ERC.com. Find out if you qualify. You pay nothing up front. We get a small portion of what you collect after you've been paid. If you don't get paid, we don't get paid. This is not a loan. There is nothing to pay back. Even if you took PPP money, you may qualify. Whether you had one W-2 employee or 500, we can help. Not all companies qualify, but many companies do. Go to 1-800-ERC.com. Again, 1-800-ERC.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-453-2609. That's 800-453-2609.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Peter. He loves his motorcycle. What he doesn't love is wind. Which is ironic because wind is a big part of the wind in your face motorcycle cliche. But nobody ever tells you how relentless a strong crosswind is, or the cliche wouldn't exist. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get a quote to see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Everything is not easy.
Now confirmation hearings are continuing for key Trump cabinet heads. Among them is Scott Bessent, the president-elect's nominee to lead the Treasury Department. The billionaire hedge fund manager is facing scrutiny from the Senate Finance Committee as he just made this glaring declaration about extending Donald Trump's 2017 tax cuts.
This is the single most important economic issue of the day. This is pass-fail. That if we do not fix these tax cuts, if we do not renew and extend, then we will be facing an economic calamity. And as always, with financial instability, that falls on the middle and working class people. We will see a gigantic middle class tax increase. We will see the child tax credit halved. We will see the deductions halved.
Our panel is back. Kayla, what did you make of the messaging there?
Well, he knows who his audience is. It's not only the Senate Finance Committee, but it's also the president-elect who has made it very clear that extending his 2017 tax cuts is his biggest priority. Yes, he cares very deeply about trade and right-sizing some of those trade balances or imbalances as he sees them. But the whole reason why he's been pushing for this one big, beautiful bill is because there is worry that if they do two bills, where the first one tackles immigration and defense spending and some energy issues,
that perhaps they'll waste valuable political capital and won't have time to get to the tax issue at hand. Now, it's not necessarily that they won't have time because the tax cuts do expire, many of them at the end of this year, so they will have to deal with it one way or another. But whether they are able to do that on a bipartisan basis, by perhaps raising the cap on state and local tax deductions, still remains to be seen. But he knows that Trump very much wants this done. This is a non-negotiable, and so he's trying to raise the stakes for all the members of the Senate. And just going back to what you showed us, which again, we know because we were all there in 2024, the economy is by far the biggest priority for voters who supported him and even those who didn't. We've seen a lot of activity on the Hill this week for the Justice Department, the Attorney General, Defense Secretary, Secretary of State. This is the first biggie on the top issue for the American people.
Exactly, which is why here at the committee today, and I'm sure will continue, Democrats are seizing this moment to try and get their messaging in a better place than they thought it was in the 24 campaign on the economy. They think, as they found in 2017, being opposed to these Trump tax cuts was a successful messaging effort for them in the 18 midterms. They argued to the American people that they were skewed much more to the wealthy. I think it's why exactly you heard Beth not, trying to reframe what certain things would not exist if the tax cuts are not renewed. They're on the more popular policy proposals broadly than on, of course, the tax cuts that went to the wealthy. So Democrats are seizing on this moment that he's before them in the spotlight to try and get a better footing on economic messaging that they clearly know they lost to Trump in the campaign.
Which was obviously a glaring weakness during the campaign. I also thought it was interesting that even Scott Bessent is being asked right now about whether or not he will respect the independence of the Fed as well. And this has been a through line, throughout these hearings. Each of these picks getting pressed on, will you respect the independence of these institutions that you will be working with? And how does that also collide with the loyalty test that many of these picks have been put through at Mar-a-Lago when Trump was considering them as well?
Yeah, and you mentioned some of the other nominees who we've seen this week. Let's just listen to several of them who were making comments along those lines.
The first and most important thing we could have done is elect Donald Trump as the new commander-in-chief, because past is prologue. Our warfighters understand what kind of commander-in-chief they're going to get in President Donald Trump. Someone who stands behind them, someone who gives them clear missions, someone who ends wars decisively.
I will fight every day to restore confidence and integrity to the Department of Justice and each of its components. The partisanship, the weaponization will be gone.
I think the president's been abundantly clear, and that is his policy is going to be driven about making America safer, stronger, and more prosperous.
Now, apart from maybe that last one, I just want to say that we played them because, generally speaking, of course you hear nominees of incumbent presidents or presidents say that they will support the president's policies. We don't usually hear the nominees intentionally use the political language and branding that the president likes to use in order to communicate with his base. And that was intentional across these nominees' hearings.
Yeah, it was intentional, and it was also, they answered these questions in sort of big picture format. In a few cases, was there a yes or a no answer, because they know that that will essentially pigeonhole them into what they are able to do or how they're able to maneuver if and when they get installed in each of these departments.
Okay, everybody stand by, because up next we're going to talk about a team of oligarchs. That's how President Biden described the people who are gathering around Donald Trump, who will be part of his group of ultra-wealthy supportors and advisors. He may have had Team Trump in mind. Well, we know he had Team Trump in mind, and we're going to take a closer look at who these billionaires populating the incoming administration and the people who are supporting the administration. Exactly.
This is a live stream. You are tuned in to Big Mama Trucking and Crocs N Socks. Double tap the screen for the like if you like what you see. He said, help me please. I don't know what's going on.
Or
The Search King's approach, using call intelligence, evaluating,
Mary J.
summarizing,
Blige,
and
March
scoring
3rd,
every
March
incoming
3rd in
call,
Vegas.
so you'll know the most profitable leads, what generated them, and your true return on investment. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch
Going
to
from
Search
California to Vegas.
Business leaders, are you playing defense?
If you look at the other live, we went through everywhere there's supposed to be a fire yesterday, but all we saw was a little smoke.
Are you here just to
Oh,
play,
it
or are you
Oh, we
playing to
smelled
win?
it too.
If you're in it to
Smell like a
win,
barbecue.
your next MVP.
They've been doing a good job putting those fires out.
Next week is your full business management
Shouts
system
out to
in one suite.
all the firemen, all the emergency personnel.
Your financials, HR, e-commerce, and
I am not a cop. It's my grandson's car on the dash.
Every department's working from the same numbers with no data delays. And with AI embedded throughout, you're automating manual tasks, plus getting fast insights for your next move. Whether you're competing on your home turf or looking to conquer international markets, NetSuite helps you get the W. Over 40,000 businesses have already made the move to NetSuite, the #1 cloud ERP.
Right now, get the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/CNN. Get this free guide.
I can't remember the last time I plugged this. The battery on this motherfucker is crazy. Go like 3-4 days.
Because when things go sideways, it's always one of the first things to sell.
Well, that's the advantage about having the Fords, huh? Beats on no Ford. Big Mama bought me for my birthday or my Christmas. For Christmas.
Red Cross say you need at least
I don't know what I'm
72
getting
hours
for
of
birthday.
non-perishable food. Station, a special buy one get two free deal on its
All I
best-selling
want for
72
my
hours.
birthday is my wife.
This new and improved kit has 20 servings of delicious food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all designed to last for 25 years. It sells for $29 and has been rated 4.4 stars, 5,000.
Now go ahead and double tap that screen. We got 71 people on here. We need 71 likes. It's so easy to just double tap the screen.
Price of one,
Chop, chop.
$58 in free food. Go to
Karate chop, yeah, karate chop twice. Chop, chop.
123.com. This deal won't last.
We got one like. Can we get to?
We all hear the radio.
Is
ads
somebody,
about
anybody,
IRS. They
everybody.
make you afraid, scared,
Double tap
and
the screen.
I'm not here to do that. Tax relief advocates.
You digging the scene? Go ahead and double tap that screen now. I said double tap that screen now.
It's 5,000, 50,000, or 500,000. We have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-519-3035. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or regress. Generous programs are now available to people and helping individuals fix their IRS reviews on Google
are rocking
and
with the
A+
Turf
Better
Star.
Business Bureau. Don't be afraid of the IRS
Came
any
up with that
longer
this morning.
and your tax nightmare today by
Turf
visiting us
Star.
online
You're a
at
Turf
TRA.com or call 800-519-3035. That's 800-519-3035. Tax relief advocates. Real solutions for real people.
How do you boost your brand and reach decision makers? Advertise on SiriusXM. You can amplify and optimize your campaigns while growing ROI, sales lift, foot traffic, and conversions from targeted, passionate, and engaged audiences. Hey, if you're listening now, so are your customers. Get closer to what moves them. Learn more about how advertising on SiriusXM can benefit your business. Dial pound 250 on your mobile phone and say SiriusXM advertising for more information. Again, dial pound 250 and
Should be a nice drive when we come out here to visit your BiggMama.
We know many of you are searching
We doing that next time we come in town.
That's why I want to tell you about JoePerlo.com. At JoePerlo.com, you can browse our huge selection of curated luxury vehicles. JoePerlo.com is based in Chicago. You should browse all over the country. Check out JoePerlo.com. That's Joe.
All right, 85 people. We need somebody to double tap the screen, please. That don't even look right. 85 people, one like. Come on, guys.
His final Oval Office address last night, President Biden name-checked former President Dwight Eisenhower as he delivered a warning reminiscent of Eisenhower's call to action against the burgeoning military-industrial complex.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well.
Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation.
AI just took over. That's how AI just took over the misinformation.
My smart reporters are back with Midday. Chalian, what did you make of
She
that?
get in the wrong
I
hands.
thought the speech was really interesting because it wasn't the speech I anticipated that Joe Biden was going to give as a farewell address, because I suspected after reading a few interviews that he's done or whatever that he was going to really focus on trying to tie it all on his legacy. And I was just surprised to hear him leave the country with a directive and a warning going forward, that's what he chose to lean into rather than his own personal legacy. He did a little bit of that, obviously, but it just, that moment of the speech, I think we all, your ears perked up and you were like, this just has a different approach to his goodbye. It was this to-do list for the American people to take up the mantle of guarding against democracy, but beware of this thing that he sees as a, troubling warning that the country should be aware of.
And he specifically made an analogy to the rubber barons back in the day. And on that note, just want to show our viewers some of the big tech leaders who are going to attend the Trump inauguration. CEO of TikTok, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, and it goes on. And so if you kind of look at this list, and we'll talk about who's going to be in his actual cabinet in a second. The point that President Biden was trying to make is that he believes these people are the modern day robber barons.
I saw his warning as an effort to directly call into question Trump's appeals during the campaign to the working class, the claims of sort of populist appeal, and in an effort to help middle class and working class Americans. And instead, you had President Biden, as he leaves office, make the argument that actually the president-elect is surrounding himself around a concentration of wealth that seeks to use power to benefit themselves. That's what I saw the argument of yesterday in the speech, and an effort to put that into historical context and say that it's once again relevant in the present.
I think that's true. I think all things are true on this particular issue. Tomorrow, Lisa Slotkin's term genuflecting. The other thing that President Biden is seeing, and everybody is seeing, is that these people who are the most wealthy people, if we can put it back up on the screen, not just in the country, among the most wealthy people in the world, have decided that Donald Trump is their guy, and that has played itself out not just in the money that they're giving for the inauguration, but in the case of Mark Zuckerberg in particular,
well, what's wrong with
the big changes, the policy changes, and the messaging changes that he's aggressively taken in the past week.
Well, it's hard to know how much of this is simply kowtowing to the incoming president. How much of this is them seeing the election results and realizing that the country is perhaps in a very different place than they believed it was through their own corporate policies just a few years ago. But what I find interesting about Biden's warning on oligarchies and this concentration of wealth and power is that in speaking with some of his White House officials in the week since the election, not all of them necessarily agreed. They actually believe that perhaps the White House should have done more to cultivate a relationship with Elon Musk, that perhaps Biden's snub of Musk at a 2021 event on electric vehicles where he excluded Tesla because Tesla was not unionized, then just created so much bad blood between Musk and the administration, despite Marty Walsh going to Austin and meeting with him in a factory.
That's why Musk got a chip on his shoulder.
Essentially irreparable damage. The fights erupted on social media, and now the White House, I spoke to one official who actually compared it, that singular event, to when President Obama roasted Trump at the 2013 White House Correspondents' Dinner and said, was that the event that catalyzed Elon Musk to go against our administration and side with the Republicans, pour $250 million into the election, the same way that President Obama's jokes essentially catalyzed.
Yeah, that is a great report.
I think that Trump is their guy. I think they're their own guy.
Well, they make the world go around, I guess.
To serve their needs and interests.
Right. You said it in a much more articulate way than
Well,
I did, and that
to
was what I was
anything.
trying to suggest. We didn't get to, we're going to have a lot of time, the fact that those are, except for Elon Musk, who's sort of outside adjacent, even though he's going to have an office, the fact that Frederica Scouten did a great piece, which I encourage everybody to look at online. Nearly a dozen people worth at least $1 billion are going to be in his cabinet and his circle. you see them. Up next, we're
So
going to
you
have
got
a
12 billion
little
altogether on one cabinet.
Well, he said at least 6 of them are worth a minimum of $1 billion. Because this is the thing, if they're going to be on his cabinet, then that means they're going to have influence in reference to policies. Those policies are going to affect how much money they make or they don't make. It's going to affect the restrictions that they have, the restrictions that they don't have. So they're aligning themselves because it's going to benefit them, and it benefits Trump because of the simple fact that they came to him with money, and because of all their money and power helped to put him in office. There's no doubt in my mind that if Elon Musk and Biden would have gotten into it, that Elon Musk probably would have been on, because Joe was older, so he didn't really believe in the tech industry. But if he would have went on ahead and opened Elon Musk with open arms to try to protect him like he did the union workers, then the whole point about it is that he very well, either Biden or Harris, could have actually won because they had that backing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The reason why Trump lost last time is because of the simple fact that a lot of the billionaires pulled away from him. You know what I'm saying?
So
like
they put their money in the wrong
Rupert
basket.
Rupert Murdoch, one of the richest motherfuckers in the world. He has his name on everything. He pulled out on Trump's last election, which ended up catapulting Biden. So it's the money of these billionaires that catapults and helps to put these people in the right place.
No different than, let's say you got a case and you go to trial. If you have money to have a lawyer, you got chances. Your chances are good in beating the case.
They're a lot better than if you just have
You
a
go with
regular
a
public defender.
public pretender, then you asked out.
Right. But that's the whole point, is that Donald Trump has always been all about power. So you get all these motherfuckers to come over in your corner. And then you start doing a couple things for them, and then now they owe you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a quid pro quo. So yes, I'm going to put you in the cabinet to get some policies done. But on the flip side of that, I'm going to need for you to do this. So he very well may, because I think it's going to be, for me anyway, Elon Musk has his hands in a whole lot of federal contracts. You should not hold a government office because you have federal contracts. It's a conflict of interest. But he's going to be able to help him finagle whatever
He's going to have
contracts
an
he
office
needs.
in the White House.
Right. He's going to be able to finagle whatever contracts he needs to make as much money as possible.
It's just the way our American is.
Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at startethos.com. That's startethos.com.
That's why I'm so hungry. That's why I try to stay home. I ain't gonna be the alligator that ate and went to a meditative trance.
I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorney. If I sound like an attorney, or if I look like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee we take you as a client. Get you out of your timeshare for
My dad couldn't change the world. My dad was so fucking smart. It was crazy how smart my dad was. He was actually developing a system to where when people go clock in at the test site, he had built a system to where they might still be using it. I don't know. But he was in the process of making a system to where everything was linked. You know what I'm saying? I think that might have been when Bluetooth first came out.
Democrats and Republicans kept
I don't know.
friends. Amid all of the consequential, sometimes contentious cabinet confirmation hearings this week, you might have missed this. Listen to this lighthearted exchange between Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth and Republican Senator turned Secretary of State nominee Marco Rubio.
You just run for president, and I didn't think you would know who I was. I was pregnant with my daughter and trying to change Senate rules so that I could bring her onto the floor so I could do my job and vote. I heard Tammy Duckworth from across the Senate chambers, and you came running down from the top back of the Senate chambers to tell me, I'm with you, I will support you, you have the right to vote, and I will support you being able to bring your daughter, your child onto the floor when she's born, and I want to thank you for that kindness.
I think what I exactly said is, what's the big deal? This place is already full of babies.
Speaking
I
of
see what he
babies,
did
we
there.
have some breaking news.
Yeah, everybody be
Introducing
crying.
Eleanor Ricky Gray, daughter of Kristen Holmes and Noah Gray. After a wild run of the campaign trail, Eleanor arrived on January 14th, weighing in at 6 pounds, 11 ounces. Her
Eleanor,
amazing
with a name like Eleanor,
shout out. Kristen
you've been in
just
before.
named CNN senior White House correspondent. After reporting from nearly every campaign rally, breaking news late into the night, early in the morning, and delivering essential transition news, all while very pregnant. Congratulations to Kristen, Noah, and of course, Eleanor's proud big brother, Elliot. And just a special note for Eleanor, when you may or may not get into your teen years, I want you to know this, your mother is a badass. And if your teen years, you may or may not understand that. Noting it here. Thank you so much for joining Inside Politics, CNN News Central Stats after the break.
For the latest updates on the historic Los Angeles wildfires, tune to alerts from the Weather Channel, what to expect, and who may be impacted. I'm meteorologist who can't worry when severe weather is impacting any part of the country. Alerts from the Weather Channel for live simulcast on the Weather Channel for the latest information to keep you safe and informed. For continuous coverage on the historic Los Angeles fires, tune to alerts from the Weather Channel on the SiriusXM app. Just search weather.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum?
Congresswoman, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that pause, I think, spoke volumes. How concerned are you moving forward the next 4 years of Donald Trump in the White House?
Well, I'm really concerned because I read Project 2025. I saw a blueprint for what he and his followers want to do with so many parts of America. I hope that they cannot implement it. I hope that it will be more difficult for them to implement than they think. But the fact that they have that vision concerns me to no end.
Your committees include Ways and Means and Small Business. Representative Judy Chu from California's 28th Congressional District, a district that includes where the Eaton Fire broke out. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Good luck moving forward.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And again, that conversation recorded late yesterday. Well, here in Washington, the cold air is moving in. A winter blast. Temperatures on Inauguration Day at high noon will be in the low 20s. It is going to be the coldest inauguration since 1985, when the high temperature when Ronald Reagan took office was only 7 degrees. It was about 28 degrees when Barack Obama was inaugurated back in 2009. And those in attendance, including Shou Chu, the TikTok CEO, is going to attend, and a who's who of some very wealthy people. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos will be on the dais on the west front of the U.S. Capitol. We'll have live coverage. It gets underway on Monday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time.
With traffic, we'll get there by 1, and then we'll only have to sit there for a half hour, and then we can go up to the hill because we are appointed this is
other farewell addresses by previous presidents. This is the briefing.
So our appointment's at 2, so many people get on the damn door.
Back after the news. Politics in the United States. It's not in your industry yet. It's coming, and fast. AI needs a lot of speed and computing.
Chance accepts all kinds of real estate donations. Turn your challenging or purchase property into a brighter future for kids and get a tax deduction for the full price value of your property. Visit
800-297-2908. 800-297-2908. Optima Tax Relief. Subscriptions apply for complete details. Please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There's no view. There's no view.
Maybe wondering media, fresh perspective.
Like urban view. Urban view. On Sirius XM channel 126.
You'll hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6802. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and help.
To Tampa. Speaking at the announcement in Orlando, Woody said, quote, I'm ready to show up, fight for this nation, and fight for President Trump to deliver the America First agenda on day one, unquote. George Williams reporting.
Blue Origin has launched its massive new rocket on its first test flight. The 320-foot New Glenn rocket is designed to haul spacecraft and eventually astronauts to orbit and also the moon. Blue Origin envisions up to 8 New Glenn flights this year, the next one this spring. Bobby, you've heard the voice of his hometown, Milwaukee.
Or maybe there's a part of your story. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own. Think of therapy as your editorial partner. If you've benefited from therapy like I have, you know how important this can be in your life. The broader benefits to giving you a peaceful therapist anytime you want at no extra cost. Visit BetterHelp.com/CCS to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/CCS.
We deserve better. And if you cannot be an elected official from the community who understands that we deserve elected officials who are going
He's trying to see what I'm doing.
champion for us. All of our communities deserve elected officials from our community who value us, who see us, and who are determined to use their positions.
Read Daniel Favors, weekdays 10 a.m. East, Sirius XM's Urban View.
Becomes action. We are LIVE live. The second hour, the second act. Very, very happy to be here. Hope y'all are feeling good, feeling all right out there in the universe on this January 16, 2025. Listen, if you want to get a signed copy of my book, The Grift, the New York Times bestseller, you can get a signed copy, the paperback version, at strandbooks.com. That's STRAND books.com. The link is all over my social media. Pick up that book. Get it just in time for Black History Month, pick it up and they'll mail it to you wherever you are in the United States. So cop that book. I put my heart, my soul into it, and a year later, y'all still supporting. So that really, really means everything to me. Here, my girl, she is the host of the Reese Colbert Show, which airs every Saturday right here on Sirius XM Urban View Channel 126 at 2 p.m. Eastern. My girl, Reese Colbert. Reese, what's up?
Hey, historian, New York Times bestseller. You always trying to play small stuff. Like, hey, the best stuff. I don't want to hear it. Sit in it. The story. Here. I don't want to hear it. I know it's your show, but I don't want to hear it.
Reese, I gotta tell you something though.
What?
My boy has a message for you about his sister who said that she didn't vote for Kamala Harris because felt like she was black.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I just wanted just looking around.
He said that she did not know about the child income tax credit. And he said that his sister likes money, and she did know about the stimulus checks. And when it comes to her not knowing about it, his exact words from him to you was, "Whose fault is that she don't know?"
Did Boo Boo ever get her stimulus check?
Oh, he's asking me.
They sent it out the one
But
he's
he's getting
getting.
rhetorical saying that she didn't hear about it.
She didn't hear about it.
So he's saying to you, whose fault is that? That it would have been up to Kamala Harris's team to get to his sister. And she works hard now. She works now. This girl knows how to work.
Yeah.
Like some money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay,
to be fair, I sounded that alarm repeatedly about how they need to talk more about their economic agenda, talk more about the kind of money they put in people's pockets. I did videos explaining how people got higher payouts from Biden-Harris and the American Rescue Plan, and they have the child tax credit. I talked about how important it was to talk to the pocketbook issue that people are dealing with, and just running against J6 and abortion wasn't adequate. And people didn't agree with me that talking about economics would make a difference. With that being said, it would be different to me. The reason why I'm not going to completely accept that, even though, yes, black people were targeted with disinformation and misinformation and targeted with a dissuasion against Kamala Harris. And you say something as definitive as Kamala Harris is whack, and therefore you're not going to vote, then I put that on you. Because you're not neutral. It's not like, oh, I'm busy and I got nothing to do and I never heard from nobody. So, it just wasn't important to me. You formulated a negative conviction about a person that don't have shit to do with their policies, unless you just don't want to admit that you didn't like the whole trans prisoner shit, or you thought that trans kids getting sex changes at elementary school. That could be what it is. You just don't want to say that. But okay. So when you take it upon yourself to formulate an opinion and you, out of conviction, take an action, or in this case an inaction, then you're responsible for ensuring that you have a fuller picture. You are responsible for the criteria for which you make an opinion on. So for me, the criteria that I make opinions on are things that are about my survival and my ability to get ahead in life and for my family. Not on who the fuck I like or don't like. Okay? So, and how you make decisions is on you. Just like when we had the caller Tuesday, Clay, or maybe it was last week, who said that he didn't vote for Kamala because she said she's not going to do anything for black people.
Right.
And I'm like, if that's what you base your opinion on, that's dumb, because she didn't actually say it. When she did not, that your interpretation is not what she intended in the context of what she said it is. So Kamala's not responsible for the criteria that people use, the low bar that people use to disqualify her, which apparently is an incredibly high bar to disqualify Donald Trump, who's a criminal and a degenerate, but a very low bar to disqualify Kamala. So we could go back and forth on what she should have done messaging-wise, but ultimately each individual and their criteria says more about them than it does about the candidate. Your criteria being that she's whack, so I'm not going to vote, says more about you than it does about how you didn't know that she didn't tell you personally. She not come knock on your door. She not come to your barber, your beauty salon, or your kid's school PTA conference and say that she had child tax credit for it. Your criteria wasn't that. Your criteria was that she was whack. So that's a reflection on you, not her, and not her campaign. Even though I don't like to, I'm trying, I know I'm being harsh, and I'm trying not to be, I'm not trying to not be, I don't like to be harsh, because I love black people, I love our people, and I try to be understanding of the things that I laid out, disinformation, but there has to be accountability as well. When you have been informed about the kinds of things that hinder your, or that maybe, that steered you in a certain direction, then that's when you have to be like, you know what? next time I'm not going to be as civil. Next time maybe I'm going to consider this. Maybe next time I'm going to consider that. Nah. Well, you didn't tell me that. Well, nobody told me. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take accountability.
Biden gave us the stimulus check too under the Biden administration.
And I'm telling you this. And this was a problem too. People, you know, there was polling when the child tax credit came. I'm mean testing out of everything. Nobody got a check for me. The check that I get is every fucking cent I get, I earn, I work, I punch a fucking time card to get, or I package to get goddamn game and set that shit off in the mail. But when they got in, not only did people get stimulus checks that were higher in the you know, they had more and more people qualified for it, but there was a child tax credit for an entire year that gave people, they could either take it in a monthly increments or they could take it at the end of the year. And that gave people $250, I think up to $300 a month. So if you had 3 kids 4 years ago, which numerically you would have to have, because that's the way that make it work, then you got $750 or more a month for 3 kids. Who gave you that? That was not Donald Trump.
Water under the bridge. Statement supporting Barack Obama's attempt to basically eliminate new construction of standalone single-family homes and or tear down existing structures to replace them with what they call multifamily economically diverse housing. And if you don't think they're trying to remake the suburbs into something more like an urban environment, you're wrong. From back in the day, 2015, headline Investors Business Daily, Obama administration mandates diversity in suburbs. Under a sweeping new federal housing mandate, the Obama administration threatens to withhold funding for cities and counties that fail to remove local zoning laws and other potentially discriminatory barriers that restrict low-income housing in wealthy neighborhoods. More than 1,200 municipalities will be impacted by the highly contested rule, which the Housing and Urban Development Department put into effect Wednesday. The agency seeks to combat discrimination in affluent suburban areas while also desegregating poor urban areas, where it says too many minorities lack access to good schools and jobs. Quote, I said this earlier because I remember it back in the day. A zip code should never determine a child's future, said HUD Secretary Julian Castro, Obama's second HUD Secretary. Sean Donovan originally put it in place. Castro took it up. So now this is what they're trying to do. They want to control where people live. And they're going to use Los Angeles as a testing ground for this. See, you have to understand this is the ultimate form of redistribution, right? If you have a suburban community, now, most people that live in suburban communities are homeowners that aren't subsidized by government. So if you have a community where you have, not a wide range, so you might have 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes on an 1/8 acre, on up to maybe on an acre or 2 5-bedroom homes, 4-bath, 2-car garage, right? Some stuff in between, maybe some condos and townhomes, maybe in the downtown, you have apartments or businesses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's a typical suburban community. The homeowner that owns the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on an 1/8 acre may not pay as much in property taxes as the 5-bedroom, but they are paying. Okay? So when there's a question about school funding, property tax increases, adding additional police officers, the people on the upper end, the 5-bedroom range, are paying expecting at least to pay around the same as the people in the 3-bedroom range. Right? Everybody pays.
That's how you fund the schools, right? Property taxes in many cases. If a state or federal government says, now we're coming in with hundreds of low-income units into this community, because, you know, we want to diversify things. Now, diversity is just their excuse. It has nothing to do with diversity. At this stage of the game, most suburban communities are already organically diverse. They're pretty diverse. The suburbs are the most diverse they've ever been in the history of suburban America, right? But what happens? So now you have all these low-income units that are being constructed, and those kids are going to the schools. Well, you know, and I can tell you where I live. The town I live in New Jersey has been undergoing, we have this thing called COLA laws. And for years, they just, I guess it didn't hit us as hard. Now we have all over town talk of how many construction sites are building small unit dwellings by the hundreds, by the thousands. And now the local government's talking about, they already had to buy land. They're putting up bonds to build more schools. We have 2 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. But with all this construction, the schools are going to be overcrowded within 3 or 4 years. But who's going to pay for these new schools? These people coming into these small unit structures? No. The homeowners are. Because a lot of this housing is going to be subsidized. These people aren't going to be paying taxes. So they're building, they're tearing up the road. I've told you this, to put down.
That is both our history and our destiny. America did not invent human rights. In a very real sense, it's the other way around. Human rights invented America. Ours was the first nation in the history of the world to be founded explicitly on such an idea. Our social and political progress has been based on one fundamental principle: the value and importance of the individual. The fundamental force that unites us is not kinship or place of origin or religious preference. The love of liberty is a common blood that flows in our American veins. The battle for human rights at home and abroad is far from over. We should never be surprised nor discouraged, because the impact of our efforts has had and will always have varied results.
And of course, human rights, part of the legacy of Jimmy Carter as we continue during this 30-day period following his death in late December, and funeral services here in Washington last week that brought together 5 presidents at Washington's National Cathedral. 8 years later, Ronald Reagan left the White House. Here's part of his farewell address.
Let's start with some basics. More attention to American history and a greater emphasis on civic ritual. And let me offer lesson number 1 about America. All great change in America begins at the dinner table. So tomorrow night in the kitchen, I hope the talking begins. And children, if your parents haven't been teaching you what it means to be an American, let them know and nail them on it. That would be a very American thing to do. And that's about all I have to say tonight, except for one thing. The past few days, when I've been at that window upstairs, I've thought a bit of the shining city upon a hill. The phrase comes from John Winthrop, who wrote it to describe the America he imagined. What he imagined was important because he was an early pilgrim, an early freedom man. He journeyed here on what today we'd call a little wooden boat. And like the other pilgrims, he was looking for a home that would be free. I've spoken of the shining city all my political life, but I don't know if I ever quite communicated what I saw when I said it. But in my mind, it was a tall, proud city, built on rocks stronger than oceans, windswept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds, living in harmony and peace.
So perhaps some parallels to what we heard the Statue of Liberty reference last night by outgoing President Joe Biden in his farewell address, also from the Oval Office behind the Resolute desk. Some historical perspective here on The Briefing on the POTUS channel. I'm Steve Scully. When we come back, what's going on among House Republicans and now the ousted chair of the House Intelligence Committee, the politics behind all of that. We'll check in with Democratic Congressman Jim Himes in just a moment.
We're not red or blue. We're red, white, and blue. POTUS is your precinct for politics on Sirius XM Channel 124. And a favorite on the Sirius XM app. I'm Julie Mason, taking you inside the United States Conference of Mayors winter meeting in D.C. Tomorrow, I'll be joined by Mayors D.C. Reeves, Republican of Pensacola, Mayor Quentin Lucas, Democrat of Kansas City, Daniel Rickenman, Republican of Columbia, South Carolina, and Aftab Purival, Democrat of Cincinnati. We're talking housing, the economy, immigration, AI, and what they're learning at the conference.
That could be confirmed by the Senate as soon as next week, because the Senate Services Committee could act on the nomination as soon as Monday, the day that Donald Trump is sworn into office, and the full Senate could act later in the week. The question is, who else could be confirmed as soon as next week when Trump takes office? And watch for Marco Rubio, the Florida senator who has been chosen as Secretary of State. He's unlike Hexon, who has wide bipartisan support. There could be more than 90 Republican and Democratic senators voting for him, according to many Democrats and Republicans here in the chamber. So that is one that could move rather quickly. The other more controversial nominees that are waiting in the wings, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Health and Human Services Department, Tulsi Gabbard to be the next Director of National Intelligence, and Kash Patel to lead the FBI. None of those hearings have been set yet, but even though they have some controversy, Brianna, there is still hope and expectation by top Republicans here that ultimately the GOP will fall in line and push these nominees through, even if some have concerns by some of the backgrounds of those nominations. Brianna.
Yeah, the convincing campaign.
Achieve your goals. Whether you're looking to boost energy, lose weight, or get active, take the next step towards a better you in 2025. Go to lumen.me today to save up to 40%. Unlock your discount now and take charge of your metabolic health with Lumen. Listeners get up to 40% off with code POTUS. Visit lumen.me and use code POTUS for up to 40% off. That's lumen.me, code POTUS for up to 40% off today.
You're about to come in to some best. Be inspired by Joel and Victoria Woodstein. Best opportunity, best relationship, best health. Hear motivational messages whenever you need them. The best part of your life is not behind you. The best part of your life is the next part of your life. Be inspired 24/7. You haven't seen, heard, or imagined what God has in store on Joel Osteen Radio, Sirius XM 128, and on the Sirius XM app.
Welcome back to The Briefing with Steve Scully on Sirius XM's POTUS, Channel 124.
Every day here on this program, we attempt to break down the politics and give you the inside story, and today's development is a perfect example. On X, formerly Twitter, Mike Turner, Republican of Ohio, wrote the following, quote, "I am very proud to have served as the House Intelligence Committee chair. There are a great number of members on the committee. I'm honored to have served with them," pointing out one of those members, my next guest, Congressman Jim Himes, Democrat from Connecticut, ranking member on House Intel. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
So what happened? Why is Mike Turner out as the chair of the committee?
Yeah, it's shocking. It really is shocking. And I think the answer is that he was not going to always be, under any circumstance, 100% loyal to Donald Trump. And, you know, when I heard the news, it reminded me exactly of that feeling I had when Jim Comey of the FBI was fired. Now, set aside Jim Comey, people have strong feelings about him in lots of different directions. But, you know, when the president said, "Will you be loyal to me?" and Jim Comey, FBI director, says, you know, "I will follow the law." "No, will you be loyal to me, sir? I will follow the Constitution." You know, Turner
And he, over time became a very good friend. We really worked hard together to try to depoliticize, in a sense, the Intelligence Committee. But, he's an old school Reagan Republican hawk, extraordinarily devoted to national security, extraordinarily devoted to the Constitution. And I think whether it was Trump himself or one of Trump's people or the 70 or 80 Trump acolytes that live inside the Republican conference, because remember, there's this whole argument, was this Trump in Mar-a-Lago or was it the Republican conference? There's not really a distinction anymore. I think the feeling was that he couldn't be counted on to be there 110% of the time, and that wasn't acceptable.
So, Congressman, you did not see this coming, did you?
I did not. I did not at all see this coming. In fact, when I talked to Mike probably 2 weeks ago, he felt like he was pretty comfortable in the job.
What's your relationship been like then? Because this is not a partisan committee. This is intelligence, national security, foreign policy, correct?
Yeah, no, it's been a very good relationship because you're exactly right. Typically the fights when you're talking about covert action or, spying authorities in the Middle East or whatever, they tend not to be Democrat versus Republican. They tend to be more, libertarians, hardcore ACLU folks versus those who are sort of more national security hawkish. So, Mike and I, we certainly didn't always agree on things, but whenever we disagreed, and to be fair, as chairman, he had the power. He was always very collaborative with me in getting to a solution that we thought was a good solution. So we had a very strong personal relationship, and I had a lot of admiration for him. I mean, setting aside the politics of this thing, Mike has spent his life working on national security because there's a massive air base in his district in Dayton, Ohio, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So that guy knows more about national security than 12 other members of Congress here. And the fact that he's been shunted aside because his loyalty was in some way suspect is just shocking, I mean, look, I'm a member of Congress. Every single Congress, we take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Say anything about loyalty to the president. And that's why he lost his job.
I wonder, two looming issues, the future of TikTok, the national security threat from China, and aid to Ukraine. On the Ukraine issue, because I've talked to Congressman Turner on a number of occasions, he continues to be a strong supporter of our assistance to Ukraine, a fierce critic of Vladimir Putin. Did all of that play out in this decision?
I think it did. And even more so, Mike is the president or the chairman of the Interparliamentary NATO Parliamentary Conference. I probably have that a little bit wrong. My point is he was deeply, deeply devoted to NATO. And yes, very strong in support of aid to Ukraine. Those are not necessarily popular positions inside MAGA world. So, again, you could be a Republican and, support Ukraine aid, and a lot of them did. But to be sort of that and then to be just such a pro-NATO person, I think that probably rubs some of the more MAGA-oriented people in this place the wrong way.
And I should point out, I only know this because he posted it on his X page, Congressman Himes. It's the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, and he mentioned that they will be in Dayton in the coming months. So to your point, his support for NATO and the work that they do every single day.
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, it's no coincidence that the NATO Parliamentary Assembly will be at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Mike engineered that. And so, anyway, it just, take a step back here. Overseeing the intelligence community is critical in the best of times, right? When you have a president who will be respectful of the truth that is spoken by the intelligence community, it's really important because, let's face it, the intelligence community is out there scooping up all sorts of emails, texts, and communications. It's really important that our civil liberties be preserved. The intelligence community does covert things that are really, really scary and sometimes lethal. And so that oversight is really essential. And this is no time to be, not valuing that oversight. Especially, look, Donald Trump is famous for despising the Department of Justice and despising the intelligence community when they say things that he doesn't want to hear. And I have no doubt in the next 2 years, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time making sure that the CIA or the NSA doesn't get warped by what they think the president wants. And Mike would have been terrific in that regard. And now the signal has been sent that the number one qualification for the job of the chairman committee is absolute loyalty to the president-elect. That is not a good place for this country to be.
We are talking to Democratic Congressman Jim Himes. He is the ranking member on House Intel, and you understand the politics, and he spelled it out. The Speaker, Mike Johnson, saying that Donald Trump had nothing to do with this. He was met by reporters asking about Mike Turner being ousted as the chair of Intel. This is what he said.
President Trump urged you to not...
This is not a President Trump decision. This is a House decision, and this is no slight whatsoever.
Now all of a sudden they saying it ain't a Trump. It wasn't Trump out there.
Right, which type of what I'm going to say it was, because Trump runs the House of Representatives.
And he got 50 million people to fall on the sword for him anyway, right?
It's a fresh start, and that's what this is about.
Crazy.
Nothing else. So I have nothing negative to say about Mike Turner at all. He's a good man, a good colleague. I respect his work. He's going to continue to be my appointee with everything regarding to NATO, and they're hosting a big summit, so to speak, of NATO in his district in Dayton coming up, and he will continue to be the face and the voice for us in Congress to our NATO allies about paying their dues and everything they do, and it's very effective.
Okay, so there you have it. That is the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Congressman Jim
How did they get Mike Johnson to say that?
From the Speaker, your reaction is what?
How did they get Mike Johnson to say
Well,
that?
Mike Johnson is the House Speaker.
Of Mike Turner, right? That
So he needs Donald Trump to actually be there for him so that he can stay in that position.
Really believe that if George H.W. Bush or if George W. Bush were being sworn in on Monday, that Mike Turner would have been fired? Of course not. And the reason for that is maybe the Speaker is technically correct. Maybe Donald Trump didn't call him up and said get rid of Mike Turner. But there's really not a distinction anymore between Donald Trump and the House Republican Conference.
Right.
They exist to protect and defend his interests to a greater or lesser degree. And most of them, it's to a great degree. In Mike Turner's case, it was to a lesser degree. So it sort of doesn't matter whether it was Mar-a-Lago and Donald Trump directly or whether it was the Republican Conference, which I'm perfectly willing to believe. But remember, the Republican Conference is there not to be a majority party to provide a check and a balance on the president, but to be a Praetorian guard for Donald Trump. So it's sort of a distinction without a difference in my opinion.
Congressman, when you talk to your Republican colleagues, and look, I don't expect you to name names, but when you're discussing Donald Trump and his looming presidency, and even the next 2 years before the midterm elections with Republicans in control of the House, confidentially, privately, what are they telling you?
Well, so I can give you a feel for the contours of the conference, and, you know, I would tell you, and my numbers aren't going to be precise here, but, you know, there's 218 of them. I would tell you that 70 or 80 of them are what I just described as Praetorian Guard for Donald Trump. Doesn't matter what Donald Trump wants them to do. Doesn't matter if it's traditional Republican orthodoxy or constitutional or legal. They will say yes, sir. That's encapsulated, of course, by Marjorie Taylor Greene, who the minute Donald Trump says we're going to take Greenland, that Marjorie Taylor Greene drops legislation for us to take Greenland. I mean, so anyway, 70 or 80 of them. And then you've got, you know, a sort of a Star Wars cantina of people who are, you know, a little bit odd. You know, there's Massey, who's a legitimate full-board libertarian. Chip Roy, who's willing to get in the face of Donald Trump in favor of, you know, Texas-style fiscal responsibility. And then, and lastly, and most scared of all, are the remnants of normie Republican land, right? And, you know, I don't know, there's probably 50 of them, right? And these are the guys that tend to be my friends. And, you know, if I can catch them after a beer at 7 o'clock at night, they're going to be real careful about what they're saying, but I'll look at them and I'll say, hey, crazy times, and they're like, oh my God, you don't know how crazy.
There's a lawsuit that was just filed against the Supreme Court now on it. They did not rule in favor of the cow. They're kind of murky. We're all kind of confused as to where it stands at the moment. But they're doing it in Massachusetts. They're literally destroying communities. Some communities are looking at 1,200 units or 1,700 units of multifamily housing that's supposed to benefit a commuter rail that can barely run when it's below freezing. There's always delays and problems.
Zoning regulations should not have political outcomes attached to them. Thank you. Homes, stock for singles or what have you. That's not what this is. This is not about, rational, local / because there is a social aspect to it, social planning. This is about moving parts around the board. It's about moving voters where the left wants them. It's also, I don't know where this lust for power comes from, but again, these people don't like the idea of your independence. They don't like you having a home of your own because you will defend that home. They don't like you having a car of your own because you'll defend that car. And you know what? When you have a car versus relying on government transportation, when you have a car, you go where you want, when you want.
No risk consultation. 800-259-2963. 800-259.
I just know that, the providence of God doesn't present him a problem that he can screw up on and result in some tragedy for, the remarkable young men and women who wear our uniform.
Well, in the interest of full disclosure, I have 2 daughters, both Navy pilots, and their big concern is that they would be sidelined. They joined the Navy to serve in the U.S. Navy and to protect America, and then potentially they could be sidelined. We heard from Pete Hegseth say, no, that won't be the case. What's Jim Himes saying?
Well, we sort of learned that MAGA wins elections by promising that on day one the Ukraine-Russia war will be over. So we'll see. Maybe on Sunday the Ukraine-Russia war will be over by telling us that chicken would be super cheap before he even takes office. Pete Hegseth promised, that he would sort of evict women from certain roles in the DoD. None of that turns out to be true. None of it. So and by the way, we heard Hegseth say this in his confirmation hearings. What happens is these people on Fox News say one thing, and then they get into the real world, the fact-based universe, and everything is different. The Ukraine-Russia war isn't done on Sunday. Inflation doesn't disappear on January 20th, and no, Pete Hegseth is not going to go to the Pentagon and damage the careers of the superbly competent and lethal women who work in our armed forces.
2 final points. First, it looks like tomorrow the Israeli cabinet will vote on some of the details of this ceasefire. There have been a couple of hiccups, but now, according to CNN and the Secretary of State, they expect the deal to take effect on Sunday. What are you hearing as a member?
It lasts around 12 years in the atmosphere.
Pretend that I've got particular inside information or intelligence. There actually is no intelligence committee right now because the speaker has yet to name the actual chair. Anyway, look, I've been watching the Middle East long enough to know that, like everything else in this Israeli cabinet, this Israeli government, it's going to be a very heavy lift. Netanyahu is prime minister in virtue of having brought some extremists into his cabinet, and those extremists are not going to be happy until the war ends Gaza. And look, I'm not characterizing them. This is what these guys say. So I think it's going to be very hard, but I do think that the combination of Joe Biden and Donald Trump making it clear that this deal needs to happen is going to push it over the edge. So I would expect the cabinet to vote to take this deal, and that's going to be a wonderful thing for the release of the hostages who've been held for so long. It'll be wonderful because presumably humanitarian aid will begin to flow in a significant way into Gaza, and it'll give us the platform, hopefully, to build away from this concept, maybe towards some sort of deal that allows for coexistence in some safe and secure way. Now, you're always a little crazy if you're optimistic in the long run about how these things work out. So we'll see about that. But I'm pretty confident that this deal will get done in the next 72 hours or so.
And my final question: who is going to be the next chair of House Intel? Who do you think? Who are you hearing?
Well, the buzz around Washington is that it's Rick Crawford of Arkansas. The speaker has not made that announcement, which, would suggest that's not 100% certain. But, I know Rick and I like Rick, and I've worked together with him for some period of time, and though this whole situation with Turner was a real earthquake for me, my job is to be constructive, and I'll reach out to Rick as best as I can so we can hopefully continue this tradition of good bipartisan work on the committee.
Have you talked to Mike Turner in the last 24 hours?
I have. I talked to him last night after this all happened. And I feel very badly for him.
Congressman Jim Himes, Democrat from Connecticut, ranking member on House Intel. Hey, Congressman, thank you very much for joining us, especially the last minute. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Well, he played baseball for a couple of years, but probably best known as the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, we're talking about Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 90. Back in 2013 at the Baseball Hall of Fame, showing his iconic traditional sense of humor. Here's one of those moments.
I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Actually, I was born in Illinois. My mother and father were on an oleomargarine run to Chicago back in 1934 because we couldn't get colored margarine in Wisconsin. On the way home, my mother was with child, me, and the pain started, and my dad pulled off into an exit area, and that's where the event took place. I remember it was a nativity type setting. There were truck drivers there. One guy was carrying butter. One guy had frankfurters, and the other guy was a retired baseball scout and told my folks that I probably had a chance to play some on the lawn.
Bob Uecker from the Milwaukee Journal, beloved Brewers broadcaster, has died at the age of 90. He was on the airwaves for 54 years, of course, a Hall of Famer and a national icon. Bob Uecker, who died at the age of 90. We'll take a break. This is The Briefing on SiriusXM POTUS 124. Follow me on X and Blue Sky at Steve Scully. A reminder, Julie Mason, 3 to 6 Eastern Time. Real Clear Politics at 6, 3 o'clock for those of you in the West Coast, and The Hill every night at 7 p.m. Eastern here on the POTUS channel. Much more ahead in a moment.
POTUS, SiriusXM 124.
The Michael Sparkanish program.
Wearing the uniform of his country, I give him credit for turning his life around. What I'm saying is that this guy doesn't have the resume nor the managerial experience, and he's exercised terrible judgment. Those 3 reasons, I only need one of them. If I were in the U.S. Senate, I would never vote to confirm Pete Hegseth.
Michael Sparkanish, weekdays at 9 a.m. East on POTUS, SiriusXM channel 124.
Are you ready to thrive in 2025? Kickstart your personal upgrade on the SiriusXM app with our collection of top self-improvement podcasts.
The Mel Robbins podcast.
The Ramsey Show.
That's a lot. So those are like the main things that I'm watching. I finished Squid Games. Didn't do it for me. Did not do it for me at all. So, but yeah, to your point, I don't watch a lot of sitcoms. I'm more into I like limited series. I like, what else? Oh, listen, it's off now, but you can still watch it on streaming. The Lioness on Paramount Plus.
Oh,
with Nicole Kidman and Zoe Saldana. Anything Nicole Kidman in, she kill it.
Did I ever say the Nicole Kidman story about the N-word?
No.
Nicole Kidman was in Paperboy. Lee Daniels' Paperboy. Did you see that?
I did not.
Before Lee Daniels. Okay. She played this Southern woman or whatever. And so this is been reported. This happened when this movie came out years ago.
Okay.
Lee Daniels wanted her to say the N-word. And that wasn't in the script. And she said, I'm not saying it.
Good.
Producers came in, higher-ups came in. Lee Daniels comes in, allegedly, to her dressing room and says, listen, this is going to work. And she said, I have a black son. Her son is adopted with Tom Cruise. I will not be on camera saying that word. And if I would have known that, allegedly, she said, I wouldn't even take in this role. I'm not saying it. I said, I always liked her.
I like her. That made me like her even more.
I always liked her. I like that.
I like Nicole. Yes, she's kind of, she plays a certain archetype or whatever, but she knows it. So that's all that matters. Listen, she's not paying no broke shit. She walking in, she's a boss bitch, she got money, she running something, you know what I'm saying? She ain't
playing no Hillary Swank characters. No, she ain't doing all that.
Nah, she ain't gonna be $1 million baby boxer. Nah, she gonna be some rich bitch who is powerful and who probably got some skeletons in her closet or whatever situation it may be. But I really rock with her. I really rock with her heavy. Like I said, I haven't watched her new little Her little smutty movies that they
What is it
got.
called? What is it called?
The boy, some kind of boy something, or what is it?
I heard about that. Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, well, that baby boy, something, whatever it is that she got it on there. I haven't watched it. But series, she's a 10 out of 10 for me. She best 100 every single time.
I'm surprised. You ever watched the Brandy movie, The Front Room? Have you watched that?
I haven't. Is that good? It's on Max, right?
It's on Max. It's all right. I don't know how many black women would take that kind of abuse from a white woman, like the older white lady like that. It definitely is not a Reese Colbert character, I'll tell you that much. But it's interesting. It's a thriller. I like the love
premise? What's the premise? She's like
married to this white dude, and I don't want to give too much away, but his stepmother is like a mystical racist.
That ain't a fight. That is not a fight. But you no. Now she had a cute little Christmas movie a couple years ago. I watched that on Netflix, but no, that's not going on my list. Sorry.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what I've been watching. I mentioned this earlier in the week. I've been watching classic white woman movies. I put on Beaches. I already talked about this on Monday. Have you seen Beaches? Baby, I was rolling around on the floor sobbing. Then I put on the little Steel Magnolias because they were talking about it on Folks Are Calling In. I've been watching all demented ones, like Single White Female.
Now, I was watching Single White Female the other day. I was watching that.
Wasn't that good? It still holds up.
It's so good.
It's so good. They don't make a
one thing about a white movie, they'll kill off a boyfriend, a husband. You know, if it's a thriller, the white man is not gonna make it. Do not get emotionally attached to the white man. He is not gonna make it. Okay, he is going to die.
Oh, I rewatched Misery with Kathy Bates.
Misery.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on my, crazy white lady chick.
She said you can write this book the way I want you to write it.
So did you like what was the one? The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Rebecca De Mornay did that shit. I interviewed Ernie Hudson, who was in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yeah.
Remember that scene where she slaps him? And she goes, "Are you a R-word, R-word?" First of all, when I saw it in the theater, I was in a hood-ass theater in West Philly. They were like, "Kill that motherfucking bitch! Kill that bitch! Kill her! She ain't gonna smack you." So, back in the day, y'all young folks don't know the joy of going to like a hood-ass theater back in the day.
Oh my God.
It was the best experience. Ernie Hudson said that he didn't know that she was gonna smack him. And that smack you see was a real smack, and after it was taping, she said, "Was that okay?" And Ernie told me, it's on my YouTube page. Ernie said, "Well, I guess it is. You already did it."
Yeah.
Smack the hell. And he said he thought that it was gonna flop. He said when they were filming it, it just felt so boring.
Yeah.
So you just never know. And his character was originally Irish. But I've been revisiting my old white name. I just crazy white name.
Now they do, but they were some unhinged shit. So I like Single White Female have me in the chokehold. I was watching the other day, literally on Sunday. I was watching it, and I was like, ooh, crazy.
Bridget Fonda. I saw that in the movie theater.
Okay, I didn't see it in the theater, but I did.
No, I saw that in the theater. That was a big deal. Because back in the day, they used to have the $1 theater, and it would it would come out later. Go to the dollar theater, sneak in everything. Oh, it was such a good
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll never forget one time I snuck in Popeye's chicken. Oh my God, I know.
You go watch the Kung Fu movie.
I was 19, 20 years. No. No, I was a teenager. We were sneaking into like R-rated theaters.
Okay.
Nobody gonna buy no popcorn. We would sneak in.
Hey, baby girl. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Okay. So when I come by there tomorrow, I have to move it. Did they say why they had to go in and correct it? Oh, okay. because of what the fuck you done. Look, that's no mama. Again, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta take shit with a grain of salt. But I will, when I go over there tomorrow after I get my nails done, I'll make sure that she does what she's supposed to do. Now, how friendly is this damn Great Dane? Okay. Well, like I told her, right. So like I had told her, I said, I'll come over there for a couple hours today. I'll just make sure I take my allergy medicine. Because she's like, well, I don't know why I did. She said Enzo is hyperallergenic. That don't mean that I'm not allergic to his ass. So, and I know the Great Dane is not hyperallergenic. So she's like, well, then I'll just drive myself over to your house and I can sit over there for a couple hours. Bitch. She said, or you can just come get me. Bitch, I'm not coming to your house, putting you in the car, taking you to my house, taking you out of the car, just turn around and put you back in the car. They're doing too much. I said, so by all that time, I could have just sat there for a couple hours. Made sure that you was good. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Right. Because she usually puts Enzo up while I'm there too, so. But, alright, well, I appreciate the update. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'll make sure she moves it tomorrow. And I'm assuming she has to rotate it over her head. Okay, sounds good. Alright, love you too, sweetie. I will. Bye. Okay, so the surgery wasn't as bad as she was making it out to be. Because when I talked to her yesterday, she said that, well, she said, I think my rotator cuff is broken. She said, there's something wrong with my rotator cuff. So Michelle says that basically what she had was a frozen socket when they did the surgery. Because she didn't move her arm up like she was supposed to, like over her head to build up strength on her rotator cuff, it got froze because she cradles it in her sling. And so that's the reason why her shoulder droops. And that was one of her complaints too, is that her shoulder droops. So Michelle was like, well, because you cradle it all the time. You got to lift it up over your head to get some mobility to build up the strength. So they said they didn't have to give her any anesthesia. They just numbed it, went in, fixed the frozen socket, and stitched her back up. And then she's good to go. No anesthesia, no nothing. She'll be numb probably for the rest of the day. They gave her some nerve blockers, but then come tomorrow, she's going to be in a lot of pain, and but she still has to move her arm. So she said she's going to get all the. She was like, can I be a bitch for a second? I told her, I said, well, Sally said she ain't been eating. I said, so when I get over there, I said, me and Daddy going to make sure she gets something to eat. And she's like, can I be a bitch for a second? She said, a person doesn't chocolate restaurants over there. We get home and take showers and get on the couch, we're gonna be hungry.
bought into this idea that we are in fact practically Americans. We are not, because we are disproportionately impacted by so much of the legislation and the action, the repressive action by the government. We refuse to stand up.
Inside the Issues, Saturday, 11 a.m. East. Hey, it's CBS News Chief Washington.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer has arrived in Ukraine's capital with a pledge to help guarantee the country's security for a century.
The Prime Minister believes Vladimir Putin's aim of wrenching Ukraine from its allies has been a monumental failure, and he's expected to announce more military and economic aid to prove that. But with Donald Trump expected to start pushing Kyiv to negotiate with Moscow, Vladimir Zelensky has said he's looking to Britain to help getting security guarantees to deter future attacks. Joining NATO is top of his wish list, but Ukraine also wants its allies to send peacekeepers if the fighting does stop, to patrol the current front line that could become a buffer zone in any peace agreement.
The BBC's Sarah Ransford. Turkey's state-run news agency says at least 30 people have died in Istanbul in the past 3 days after drinking bootleg alcohol. It's become a common occurrence in Turkey. Breaking news at townhall.com.
Rational thought and political analysis. This is what your brain has been waiting for. News, politics, and issues. Enhanced. Just join the will count majority.
Your generation of great talk radio. The founder of the new school. That's me, Andrew Wilkowski, a Patriot. Phone lines, as always. 1-695-PATRIOT, 957-2874. The email, spell my name right, WILKW, at WillCowatory.com. Individual Patriot first, Conservative second, Republican third, and working every single day to make this the most popular program offered by SiriusXM Radio, that is based in one thing and one thing only. And that is rational thought. So welcome to the Wilkow Majority. I'm Andrew Wilkow. Breaking news! Michelle Obama is not going to attend Trump's inauguration, but Barack Obama will. People are still talking about this seemingly friendly conversation that Trump had with Barack Obama, also sans Michelle. Right now it's got everyone speculating, oh, they're getting divorced. I've seen many, many takes on that video. You know, you've got MAGA people that can't believe Trump would talk to Obama. You got Obama people that can't believe Obama would talk to Trump. My first take on it was, what is Trump having? He won the election, right? Let the Obama people lose their minds. But really, if anything, it's not Trump that looks like a total hypocrite liar. It's Obama. There he was telling Democrat voters, literally him. Literally him. He was out on the campaign trail for Kamala Harris, making it sound like if Donald Trump
gets elected, black people would be rounded up, put in camps, executed. But Trump, he's literally up there.
And do something to combat the
That's his
lies.
Barack Obama
So
voice.
I think you're, saying the same thing, just in different ways, and people have exhaustion in a variety of ways. My issue, though, is that we just don't see the long game sometimes. So it becomes very frustrating. And how do you get people, if they are tired, to care? How do you get people activated? That's the challenge. And maybe part of it is just to concede that 92 some million people, pretty much every election, just aren't, they're not going to care. And we're in our own world, and we have disinformation, and that's tough too. But I'm with you. I think people are tired. Now I don't think it takes that much just to show up. But for some people, that's too much for them, and they're in their own world. And like I said, people will get it when it gets bad. My thing is, I don't see it get bad. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your call. Let's go to Rich from Philly, first time caller. What's up, Rich?
Can you hear me?
I can. What's up, Rich?
Hey, first time caller. Look, Clay, I enjoy this show, and I'm so grateful, to be able to turn the channel to Urban Radio and listen to your views. I mean, you're a very intelligent young man. I love listening to you. I'm a lot older.
And that's what the right wants you to believe. And Biden wants you to believe he's going to go down as an impactful and significant and terrific president. And that's not true. And this is not just me both sidesing it, right? Those of you on the political extremes always accuse me of both sidesing it. I don't both sides everything. I'm not telling you he's going to go down somewhere dead set in the middle. I'm telling you he's going to go down below the middle. Okay? He's going to go down in history as mediocre, meaning below average, as a president. For a variety of reasons. But that doesn't get you anything in the environment we live in. So let me play you some of Biden's farewell speech, and then I'm going to talk about some of the overwrought reaction. Now, it is fair to say that Biden started taking some shots, but they were subtle shots at Trump and some on the right. And I'm going to, in a moment, link this back to what's happening in the Middle East, because we're seeing a similar sort of I get the credit, when actually, in my view, Israel gets the credit, but we'll get there. So this was probably the most controversial thing that Biden said, talking about the oligarchy, right? This is number 2.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of very few ultra-wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead.
All right, so is that a bit overwrought? Yeah, a little bit, but you know what? Okay. That's mild compared to what the right says about Biden. And here he is again, this is number 5, suggesting that there is danger in the power that Trump will have.
In the years ahead, it'll help to be, it could be up to the president, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, the free press, and the American people to confront these powerful forces. We must reform the tax code. Not by giving the biggest tax cuts to billionaires, but by making them begin to pay their fair share. We need to get dark money. That's that Hidden funding behind too many campaigns, controversies. We need to get it out of our politics. We need to enact an 18-year time limit, term limit, time and term, for the strongest ethics and the strongest ethics reforms for our Supreme Court. We need to ban members of Congress from trading stock while they're in the Congress. We need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office. The president's power is not limited. It's not absolute. It shouldn't be.
Now, look, that's the campaign speech, right? That's the speech that Biden made. And I don't know that that was a particularly smart way to end his presidency, was by trying to give a campaign speech that didn't work when he was actually campaigning. But when you think about the effectiveness of a president, part of it is their appearance. I don't mean physical, I mean ability to inspire. And it is clear Joe Biden has lost that completely. So even if you agree with everything he's saying, just his voice alone makes him sound weak and old, and older than he is. And again, here he is. And look, he talked about a wide array of issues, but this is number 3, talking about the future.
Now, we've proven we don't have to choose between protecting the environment and growing the economy. We're doing both. But powerful forces want to wield their unchecked influence to eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis, to serve their own interests for power and profit. We must not be bullied into sacrificing the future of our children and our grandchildren. We must keep pushing forward and push faster. There's no time to waste.
So, again,
too many patients, unfortunately, have lost their lives by not having access to targeted cancer treatment. Envita.com, ENVITA.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today. On Ear Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how many
$5,000 hearing aids.
over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
What could you do with more confidence? More precision? Would you attack more pens? What could you do with the best combination of flight, spin, and feel? What could you do with a Titleist golf ball that best fits your game? You owe it to yourself to find out.
Selling your home on Ready.com. Real estate agents will pay you for your
having a bidding war, you know, and you actually wind up paying more than you would have thought. Yeah. So you can, like, it's kind of like, you know how some of these great shows, The Wire, The Sopranos, it's not the final episode of the season, but the penultimate episode of the season that actually has, like, the big plot twist or the big moment happen. Sometimes get the penultimate guy of the tier. Don't wait all the way until the last one, because everybody thinks he's the last one, and then the bidding war happens there.
No question about it. I feel like we could spend an entire hour on trash strategy because you just put 2 or 3 more thoughts in my head. But that's what we're doing today. We're going to finish one and done. We have to talk running backs when we come back. Who we like for this long round. Yeah.
Every single close NBA.
No, I know that there was some talk out there about maybe entering the portal, but...
City. Replenta is refreshing and light. I am obsessed with drinking it in the morning.
Like, man, what Bible are you reading? First of all, what version? Which of the 25, 30 versions are you reading from? And what exegetical work did you put in?
Come in and they try to raise the price of goods, water, essential commodities. When people have lost their homes, and not everyone lives in a big home, most people don't, and people have lost everything that they have had. And I am committed to working with everyone in California constantly to help the people in the aftermath of these fires and do everything that I can.
So he wants her to target the oil industry because the Democrats don't like the oil industry. She said, well, am I just going to target? What the hell are you talking about? You can't just target an industry. If there's a crime alleged, I'll investigate it, but I'm not going to target an industry. What kind of corrupt BS is that? Now here's one for you. Let me skip past Bondi. Andy Kim, fortunately my senator, sparred with the OMB nominee, Russ Vaughn, over the goal of, I guess, closing some federal agencies like the Department of Education, cut 7.
I was a career nonpartisan civil servant. You know, I worked in multiple departments and agencies. I guess I just wanted to ask you why you would use a language like villains in talking about people serving our nation.
In those comments, I was referring to the bureaucracies that I believe have been weaponized, and there are portions of weaponized bureaucracies across the federal government. That doesn't mean there's not amazing career civil servants, many of whom I've worked with at OMB. I look forward to, if confirmed, getting back to work with them and being able to rely on their expertise, their understanding of the federal programs, and to be able to allow them to help us have more implementable policies on behalf of the President of the United States. But I do believe that there are bureaucracies that are weaponized against the American people. When you have...
Even within OMB?
No, sir, not within OMB.
Well, I guess I wanted to ask you then, you know, at the end of your term as OMB director, you implemented Schedule F, and you implemented that as well at OMB. Do you remember what percentage of personnel at OMB you categorized as Schedule F?
We implemented it at 90%. Again, Senator, that was not to fire anyone. It was to change their classification.
And what is the purpose for the changing of that classification? What does that allow you to do?
It's to ensure that the president, who has policy setting responsibility, has individuals who are also confidential policy making positions, are responding to his views.
In other words, we're not going to have rogue bureaucrats imposing their own view on the administration. They are going to follow orders like everybody else. 96695 Patriot 957-2874. We are right, they are wrong. That's the end of the story. The arguments on this radio program cannot be broken. Sirius XM Patriot.
It's the NFL playoff.
We got so many churches in America, black churches, man.
Oh my God, I can't.
Well, tonight, the wide open border and the catastrophe that will be for years to come, the skyrocketing cost of living, the average American family spending $13,000 more annually just to stay afloat, weakness on the world stage, a terrible, catastrophic foreign policy in every metric. We had the weaponization of the DOJ, lawfare, the undermining of our entire system, and then the cover-up of his cognitive decline. I mean, these are objective facts. The American people saw that, they evaluated it, and that's why we have the ushering in of a new golden age that starts in 5 days.
This goes to my brother, right? He wasn't that bad. I know it's not the defense he wants, right? He doesn't want the guy saying, he wasn't that bad. But that's the truth. He was an okay, I'll even call it almost okay president. A little below okay. And I'm confident that that's how he's going to go down historically.
Not one of the worst presidents ever, but below average. Fast, overwrought response to that speech is just typical of where we are today.
Well, it was open this morning when I checked. I don't know about now.
It is that kind of all or nothing that shows you what happened with the peace deal, right? This is a big deal. All right, now look, it's looking like there may be some hiccups. We'll see. Let's hope that it moves forward. All right. But there's no sense of together. And I know this sounds like school march, right? Oh, why can't you guys just get along? I get it. But it's true. The reason this got done is because of all the legwork that the Biden administration did up to this point, in conjunction with them being afraid of Trump. Now, neither of them deserve the vast majority of the credit here. No offense to the U.S. negotiators. But Israel has had enormous success in undermining Hezbollah and Hamas. Now, your position may be it came at too great a cost. Okay, that may be your position. But the reality is that Hamas has deteriorated.
You want to know if we in town or we on the road? I'm on the live right now. I can't read.
And the idea that those on the right saying, well, Biden didn't do enough. Come on. He let Netanyahu do what he needed to do. He provided him.
Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel.
What's wrong?
California to Vegas.
Oh my God. Where is she? Yeah, we're on our way in town. We got to load. We got to drop at 2 o'clock. Over, yeah, they can usually do it if it's within 5 miles for free, but when it's further than that, then yeah, they like to charge.
I'm sorry, I was on the live. I couldn't call right now.
Tire, you need, okay, so you're going to need a ride for you and the Good Tire up to Danielle's job to put it on her car so she can bring her car back home. Okay, yeah, I can ask Daddy. He's on a live right now, so he couldn't text you back. Oh, we're coming home for our homecoming. You don't know. Right. Well, we'll... Right. Yeah, I don't think so either. Well, this is the thing. My load drops. I have to be there at 2 o'clock to be unloaded. Now, this place takes anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. So we're going to go home. We're going to have one of the kids come get us in our car so we can go home and drop off our stuff that has to go in the fridge and the refrigerator. We have to take showers, and I'm going over to my friend's house because she just had surgery. You would have access to Daddy. Yeah, it's all good, though. And I appreciate it. But you would possibly have access to Daddy after that. So it would probably be somewhere between 6 and 7, but I'm not exactly sure. We find out what we have going on outside of that, 'cause I know that he was going to drop me off over at her house, so just like we got to. Oh, okay. Right. He still has to take. No. That's what. But even still, regardless whether you get a switch there or not. I mean, regardless of whether you get a switch. Well, most tires, you got to find out what time the tire centers close. Some of them stay open until 8. So you're gonna have to get on the phone and find out. What about the other Walmart? Okay, well, like I said, it just really, regardless, like I said, it just really depends. I mean, you might end up having, it's only going to cost you $18. You might just want to go on ahead and go to the Mexican store and spend $25 or $30 for a spare tire. I mean, for a brand new tire, just put it on your rim. Right. Well, no, I get it, but well then you might be able to take the rim and the tire and see how much they're going to cost you just to switch it over. Because they're still going to have to put air in it and stuff like that. But again, I mean, you're not getting a tire from them, so they might be able to do it for like $5 or $10. But there's got to be some place around where you can do it, and then Daddy can drop you off in Danielle's car just to make sure that you're good to go. But let me double check. I know, but how's she going to get to work? Okay, I gotta get my nails done, but I can see. Okay. I'll talk to Daddy and find out, but like I said, I mean, if he can get to you before 7 o'clock and you can switch out the tire, then you can go ahead and do it tonight, then she doesn't have to worry about getting her off. So, but yeah, Daddy's on the live and on his headphones. Let me check with him and see if he had anything planned while I was gonna be over at my friend's house and while I was getting my nails done, and then either he'll call you back or I'll call you back and let you know. Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely. Love you too. Okay, so Danielle at the police. So Danielle was on her way to work this morning, and her tire blew. So she called the tow truck, and the tow truck, because she's off Russell, where she blew her tire was off of like Russell 215. When the tow truck got there, it was 2 tires that blew, not one.
At the same time.
Correct. And when she got there, there was only 1 tire in there. He says normally they always keep an extra tire in the back of her car, but when they went on their vacation, they took it out and he just never put it back in there. So she ain't got no extra tire. So she got the 1 tire, but they're still gonna have to tow her car because she still has a flat tire. So what she said she was gonna do, so she said that Progressive is going to charge them $75 to get that car towed all the way back home as opposed to just to her job because it's within a 5-10 mile radius. They're not going to tow you shit hella far. Roadside service is to get you to someplace either the closest shop or to your house, whichever is closest. It's not meant for them to go way across town dealing with a whole bunch of traffic. That's just not how they do it. And if they do, they're going to charge you the extra money. That's just the way they are. So what he wants is for him to either find, if we get done early, you know what I'm saying, she gets off at like 5:30, for us to, or for you to be able to take one to Danielle's job with the tire that he has there, run to Walmart so they can take the bad tire off there and put the good tire on there so he can put it on Danielle's car so he can get it home. Right. Now the tire place that he closed, he says the one around the corner from his house closes at 6, but then there's another one around the corner from the house that actually closes, that's a little bit further out, a little closer to her job, I'm assuming, that closes at 7. So, depending upon what time we get done being unloaded, you know what I'm saying, when we go home and take a shower, when you take me over to Sally's, since I'm going to be over there for a couple of hours, that might give you enough time to be able to run and go and do that, and me and Sally can always order food off DoorDash. And that way, when you get back, you've got food. You know what I'm saying? Or, he said if it would be easier, then you guys can go tomorrow morning because Danielle can get a ride home and she can get a ride to work. The only thing about it is that if you go on and get my nails done, and by the time you get done with all that, I'll just be waiting at the shop. So, but and he says that he doesn't need to use tires, he just needs to go someplace. I'm assuming the Mexican place would charge him, you know, the Mexican place right around the corner from our house, or any Mexican tire place is not going to charge him $50 to take off one of his tires to put in. If it's Daniel's tire and Daniel's rim, they're not going to charge him full price just to swap out the tires. But at least he'll be able to get it taken care of today. So it's up to you what you want to do.
Just didn't want to be out late. Tonight. I don't know.
Well, hopefully, so you'd rather do it tomorrow? You want to just plan it for tomorrow when I get done getting my nails done when you drop me back off at Sally's house? Because we'll still go in the morning to go take care of the GoPro thing. I'll go get my nails done, and then you can drop me off at Sally's and then go to Daniel. And then you can go do it tomorrow. That way you're not out and about late. We're not going to have the grandbabies. It's still going to be me and you. And then once you're done with Daniel, then you can drop him off and just come back and get me.
Once you just had a baby meet us at Morton's with the Jeep, you can go do the load because that's not hard to do by yourself. You can park it. And then while you're doing the load, I can go take care of Daniel. By the time I get done doing that, you should be meeting me back at Morton's. We'll have the Jeep.
Okay, so you want me to take you to the Jeep?
No, I was saying, oh yeah, I would have to take Holly back home. Yeah, you could. I mean, I was just saying possibilities.
Well, you can still have Holly to meet us at Morton's. And then take the stuff out of the truck. You know what I'm saying? Take whatever you can out the truck, then go home, take a shower. The arm's not hard to pull, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, I mean, I can do it by myself.
It's just that was an option.
Well, it's going to be whatever is easiest for you. If you want to go early, then yes, technically you can go on, you know what I'm saying? drive straight up to the place, wait in the parking lot, and then go from the parking lot to the Croc, get all signed in, and then
You should be able to do all that.
get unloaded.
Not a pretty hard park, you know what I mean?
No,
Right.
it's not. I mean, I should be okay.
If you wanted to do it that way at least we'll get Daniel out of the way. And I ain't out super late tonight, and I ain't got to get up in the morning and do it.
Well, you won't have to get up in the morning and do it. We're still going to get up in the morning to go to the library. I'm going to go get my nails done. By the time I get done with my nails, it's going to be like 11:30. You can drop me off at Sally's and then go to Daniel. And that way, we're still not interrupting what we have to do in the morning for the channel. We're not interrupting my nail appointment. It won't be out late today.
I won't be able to do my content at the truck stop.
Correct. Well, if you went tonight, you could.
Where? Well, if I did it today.
Correct. If you go tonight, because you were planning on going tonight, so if we leave our schedule the way that it's supposed to do, we'll go tonight. You drop me off at Sally's. You can go to the truck stop, sit there for a couple hours. When I'm done with Sally, come pick me up. Then we can go home, get up in the morning, do the library, do the get my nails done, and then you can drop me off at Sally's. I can sit there and drive for a couple hours while you go take care of Daniel.
Tomorrow.
Correct. That way, we know for sure the tire shop will be open. You won't be running to a bunch of places to try to help them to find a tire. It'll be during the daytime. You can run them out there, and they don't stay. I don't think that they stay too far from. They don't stay too far from us. But that way, we can run up there, go get him, and you might be able to take 215 around, whichever way it goes to your job. I'm assuming that's the way she takes it. She jumps on 215 and takes it all the way around. But at least you'd be able to do it tomorrow. And like I said, at least the tire shops will be open, and you can go and drop them off. Make sure that he switched out both the tires. The tires are good, and then you can come back and get them. That way, you still get your content. Doesn't interrupt our schedule. Like I said, tomorrow we're not going to have the grandbabies. Holly should be at work. Kiana has to be to work at 4. Google has to be to work later on. So basically, we're still good, but that gives you something to do during the daytime while I'm over at Sally's, and you can still help him out. Like he said, he was like, I didn't know who to call. He said, because I don't really have any friends. And he says, I figured I would just try to, I would text out to see what he was doing. He said, just in case, just to see. So. You don't want to do it tomorrow either?
I wanted to get it out of the way today, but.
So, why don't we play it by ear? Huh?
Just didn't want to be doing a whole bunch of running around, or it's going to be traffic.
So, why don't we play it by ear? You know what I'm saying? If we get unloaded pretty quickly, then we can go and park, and then you can get to the end. You know what I'm saying? And then, or, I mean, Daddy, I don't mind having to do everything by myself. If you'd rather do it that way. Like I said, if we can get out of there early enough, let's just say it only takes 2 hours to get us in and out of there. We'll be parked by 5. You can be to Daniel, take quick showers. You can probably be to Daniel by like 6. That's what I'm saying. You can even do it and then it.
Probably do it tonight. So I can probably do it tonight.
We get done with the load. Keep in mind that he's going to have to find a place that's open by 7. If not, you'll probably have to take by the Mexican shop just to switch out the tire. I think Discount Auto's open, so I don't know if he's still there. Discount Car. So I say we play it by ear so that if we get done early enough, you'll go tonight. Otherwise, if we don't, then you'll have to go to
said you would drop me off at the house again.
Okay, do you want me to do that?
You didn't just lay that option out. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what to do. So I'm thinking that's the option that you don't want to do. Because you didn't just say it.
Because you just said it's just an option. I mean, I don't want to know what you want me to tell you. Either you can help me to unload the truck and then go later on tonight. Miss out on your content. Or I can drop you off, you go get the car, and then I can get the stuff organized with the truck. And then you can go, and then I'll just go and get it.
I don't want you to do all. But just go tonight. Just go tonight. We're done. You're getting frustrated and something that wasn't even in existence before the calls. I don't want to argue with you over this. So we just go
I'm not
tonight.
trying to argue with you either, but you're saying you don't know, but then I'm explaining everything, you still say you don't know. But this is something you have to make a decision. If you just want to say, fuck it, I help it all, it is what it is. But I know you don't want to do that, so you're going to have to make a decision.
See what happens when you get frustrated is what you start saying. You just go tonight. I just said, just go tonight after the load. There it is there.
And if that's what you want to do in the first place, why
I
did you
said I didn't want to help.
Okay, so when I mentioned that in the first place, then why did you mention about how you're not going to be able to get your content? Everything's I don't know.
I don't know why I didn't.
I thought you said you wanted to get your content.
That was before Daniel called.
Okay, but you also said it after Daniel called. Is there any particular reason why you don't want me to go drop by myself?
Ain't no reason. I just want to get everything situated. Maybe I can take everything home so you ain't got to get the truck ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take us probably about 35 minutes to get home if that's going to be enough time. So I'm going to just load by myself and you're going to go, right? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take Daddy by the house and go get the Jeep. And then I'm going to run and do the load by myself. So that he can come and get you. So that you guys can go out to Danielle's job to do the tire. He's going to have to take you out there because you have the tire, right? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You have a tire at the house. So you're going to have to take the tire to the house to either Walmart or wherever the case may be. So you get that switched out to get it to her job, and then he's going to have to bring you home, correct? Oh, at Danielle's car. Okay. The thing about it is, let's say for instance it gets done by 4. We still have to park our truck at work. And he's got to take me home and our stuff into the truck at home. So there's no way he would be to you by 4:30. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I'm just going to go ahead and drop him off at the house so that he has access to the Jeep. Okay, and you just need to text him the address so that he knows where he's going.
I know where it is.
Okay, so then yeah, he'll take you, go and do that, and then hopefully you guys will be done by the time I'm done with my load, so that he can come and pick me up with the truck and take me home. North Las Vegas. It's the Kroger place off of North Las Vegas, off of exit 58, the Kroger that's on Terrell B. Adams. Yeah, it's exit 58, correct. That's where the drop is. But where right, well, that's what I'm saying. When he's done with you, he has to come to the truck stop at Morton's for me. But doesn't she get off at like 5:30? That's a whole lot of extra there. Yeah, we got the police station. I said, yeah, I mean, it's really going to depend upon the time frame, but hopefully I'll be, because my drop is until 2, and I'll be dropping him off probably right around 12:30, and I'll probably get to you at about 1:30. So that should give you guys ample time to be able to get to the tire place and to get to Danielle. And then, like I said, I don't know if you really want to go home just to turn right back around and go back up there. Okay, so yeah, we're going through the check station here in Nevada. So hopefully I'll be able to get him home with traffic and everything by 12:30. Exit 23, the check station inside Nevada. Heading north on 15 for Cali. Yes. Yeah, we had a drop in Southern Ontario yesterday, so we were on the 5 going through Pasadena and Altadena, so yeah. Okay, sounds. All right, well, let me go to this port of entry, and then once I drop Daddy off, then I'll let you know. Oh, no problem. No problem. You're welcome. Love you. Goodbye.
But he kept saying he didn't want me to come right now.
No, he was like, what he kept saying what he was going to do was to turn around and go all the way to go to Danielle's job with the freaking we're gonna go do the tire. Once the tire was fixed, you wouldn't have to bring him all the way home. He would just be able to just take her car. But by the time you guys get done, it's probably going to be right around 3:30. You know what I'm saying? Probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. He has to switch out the tire. He's talking about going all the way home and then turn around and coming all the way back. Well, you might as well just sit there. He's like, well, yeah, but I don't want to sit there for like 2-3 hours. Okay. That ain't my task.
Like I said, if we would have waited till tomorrow, he would have went and did it himself, running all that gas with.
Well, his car's not working.
Oh.
So that's the reason why he had to call us for help, is because his car ain't working. So he said, that's the reason why he was calling, because he said he doesn't know what's going on with his car. He says it won't turn it on. It's got a brand new alternator, got a brand new battery, brand new car. Yeah, he said it ain't working. He has no idea why it ain't working. So
probably electrical.
Maybe.
A lot of cars sit that long, the wires get corroded.
But he said he done put a lot of money into that car, and that shit still ain't working. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with his car.
You gotta take it to the shop.
Well, you know how cheap it is when he can fix that shit and see it.
Like when Paul had the 1968 Plymouth Fury, right? Old ass car. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. Like, man, it's an electrical shop down there where I used to take my Mustang to get a tune-up. The old man do electrical too. So I followed him over there, and sure enough, old boy got his electrical tightened up, that motherfucker fired right up.
Yeah, so I don't know. But that's why he's calling around for help, is because he said he ain't got nobody. He said because Danielle could catch a ride, but he don't have a way to transport that tire.
Porsche. Slow that motherfucker down. He ain't a professional driver. I seen that he took that turn. He didn't go to the inside on the curb.
Yeah, you can take a couple waters home until we. Because if Holly can get us a case of water, then we're gonna have to get ourselves a case of water, right? Yeah, so I'd probably take some of them home.
Paper towels.
How many paper towels do we have down there?
2.
We can take one, right? Huh? Yeah, we can take that home too, so I can go through there and see what we got. You know what I'm saying?
Are we taking this home or just staying in the trip?
Taking that home, because we're gonna start saving money in that.
What about your old steno book?
Yeah, we can take that home. I'm gonna need my
big
budget.
paper plates to take it home to?
Yeah.
Budget book?
My budget book. Yep, I'll take. I can put that in my purse. bag, because the green bag, yeah. So the other bags we should be able to fill up with whatever we need, right? But the green bag we can keep here, and then the collapsible bag, because that's what I'm gonna put the freezer stuff in.
Okay, you didn't just want to take it into the house?
You can just make sure. I just figured because there's ice there, I can always only need ice and my energy drink. Probably leave in the one of our bags. No. I need, those are the ones that I want to put on after I got out of the shower to wear on the south. Because I'm wearing my red ones tomorrow when I go get my nails done. on, Daddy.
Yep.
Come on, fuckface. Come on. Sit here.
You want to take our great towel home?
Yeah. Unless we want to leave.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, well then, yeah, we don't need to. We just leave it there. Don't forget the lunch pail. So the only bag that should be left is the green bag and a flimsy bag so we can tie it off to put the frozen food in there, right?
Yeah, you want me to take all the rest of your shopping bags home?
You can leave me one just in case I find some extra stuff on going through the truck. So it should be the green bag, the flimsy bag, and then an extra bag. Because the flimsy bag that I can tie at the top, no, there should be like a black or a blue grocery Walmart bag of some sort.
I remember that bag. I was just going to see it.
Well, maybe I guess I can always use one with my tennis shoes. Because we don't have any regular grocery bags that I can use, right?
No.
Remember you said you were going to put it up in case you needed it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember the bag. I just,
Oh, you think it's in the crate?
maybe.
But I can put the freezer stuff in there. If I have to separate it, it's fine. I can put it all inside the green bag.
Great.
So yeah, just leave me a,
Here it is.
let me see.
You want this one?
Yeah, we can put the freezer food in there. So you can put that in the green bag and then just grab any regular
Yeah.
shopping bag. And then that way I got freezer bag, refrigerator bag, and then an extra stuff bag.
You want me to get all the snacks? Just open up there real quick.
You don't have to. I was probably going to do that for you. I can do that while I'm getting unloaded or while I'm waiting because I'm going to be there a half hour early. So
So I can get him taken care of fast enough to get back to you.
well, if not, I can always have Holly come get me.
Oh, it's in the back of the shirt.
Okay.
You want to take it home, right?
Yeah. You got your stuff? That's your wanted stuff? Were you able to fit your whole thing inside the bottle or no? Did you put your medicine in a bottle?
Yeah.
Huh? That's show Kiana.
Huh?
Show Kiana. Ooh. No, you don't have to. If I want to lay down, I still have one pillow in the truck. So that way when you come pick me up, all I really have is my purse.
What about the wipes? You want to leave the wipes in case?
Yeah, you can do wipes. In case I have to have a bowel movement. I know I might run in the house and go have a bowel movement. You know? Were you able to use the other grocery bags too?
I use some of them.
Yeah, you were gonna leave me one, right?
Yeah.
You were gonna leave me the green bag, this black one, and then a whole nother bag, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can wait till you get home and get in the shower.
Yeah. Just know I'm gonna be in a rush. But yeah, we should be able to both take a shower, right?
I forgot you had to go to the center.
Yep. I mean, I had planned on coming home and taking a shower anyway, but you know. And I'll jump here. You can put this inside the green bag then. Where's the truck keys?
They ain't in your purse.
No, these are the Jeep keys. I'm talking about the truck keys. So you can attach this. Because you're doing all that moving around.
Heater on.
I do not have the heater on.
Goodness to do. It helped me with my sciatica.